right here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up, that's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups, brass saddles, bone nut. It's all good. Where the weed at? What's going on? Thank you for the follow. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Who? Okay, so that's that guy there. But that's to show you that red cedar when it really gets polished up. It really looks copperish. Come here, little guy. Come here, my little boy. Go on top. So that's what we did there. That back's going to be sensational. That is so smooth. Very smooth. Ha! Absolutely. They are drums. They're percussion instruments as well as stringed instruments. They can be used. If you watch the old flamenco guys playing, the old Spanish guys, they're doing all that stuff. They're going tippa-tappa, tippa-tippa-dum, ring, 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 tippa-tappa, tippa-tappa, ding, dong, dang. So it's all good. G'day folks, how we doing? Welcome to the show. It's Manny here from the Guitar Show in Oz. And we're here for another quick session. Get some bracings inside on this guy, get some little ribs around this guy before we put the back on it. So I've got to cut out and glue some little ribs across here. So I'm going to position those now. We'll flick you over to the bench. We'll have a look at those and see how we're going. Welcome on to the show. If you haven't seen us before, we are a small boutique lutherie in Sydney, Western Sydney, New South Wales in Australia. We build all sorts of things. We build acoustics, we build electrics, we build hollow body electrics, we build chambered electrics, we build basses, we build 6 strings, we build 7 strings, whatever you need, we build. So, all hand built. There's no machinery here in terms of CNC cutting or anything like that. We use hand. Drills and saws are exception, of course, and sanding machines, but other than that, most of it's done by hand. And that's the way we like it. Okay, I'm going to flick you to the bench. We're going to get stuck into this guy here. Acoustic guitar, framed up. We've cut some notches out of there to fit the back on. We need to get some little ribs in here, and I need to get some timber cut up. Excuse me, there's a frog in my throat. We need to measure this guy out, mark this guy, but we want these things, and we'll do that with a thread. Let me grab my thread. I'll put my take a predetermined length of material and we lay it down here, mark off where we need those, roughly around 3 inches to 4 inches apart. Hey Mav, what's going on? Welcome to the show. What's happening, brother? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I think you're the only one on here at the moment. I think it's going to be very quiet. Who knows? I may not have even announced that this stream was happening, but it's happening. Oh yeah. It's happening. Okay, let me grab my little piece of tape. We're going to mark out where we want these little bars. There we go. There's 4 on that side. There'll be 4 on this side as well. You hop on in, mate. That's what all we ask for. Hop on in. It's pretty even. It's exactly where we want them to be. So what we need to do now is we need to cut out some timber to make those pieces. And I'm going to use some Queensland maple dowel. This little guy here. We're going to measure out pieces of dowel. We're going to flatten one side, and then we're going to use them to put in there and brace this guy up. Let's measure the length we need, or the width we need. Sorry, they're going to vary because it's narrower at the front. So I'm going to measure the distance between, for the first 2, which are here, 85 millimeters. Times 2, we'll split this in half, of course. Next one down. You can see where I'm measuring there, just inside there, basically inside of that brace to that brace there. Did I measure that correctly? At 90. Third one along, getting slightly longer because we're thicker at the back. 95. And one more at the end here. It's around the same, 95. Right, we've got to cut these up, saw them in half, and come and position those and put them in place. So let's do that. Quickly cut these on the bandsaw. Actually, what I'll do is I'll use my hand saw first. Just cut them here. Get the lengths right. Three. Four. Now we need to go and split these down the middle. I'll do that on the bandsaw, cut them lengthwise, then we'll come back, shape them, glue them into place. Virtual Gopher, what is going on? I'm doing well, mate. How are you? Usually unlikely. Bondi sucks. It does. Bondi is the worst beach in the world, even though it's hyped up to be something else. It's actually not that great. Those of us that live locally, well, live in Sydney, know the beaches. Bondi is very overrated, I must say. But it looks good on TV. Back in a sec. Alrighty, so we've got our little pieces all cut up. We've got 8 pieces here, ready to go. Not getting into the garage much, just finished the big upgrade to dust collector and rebuilt my router table and cleaned up. Still some more cleanup to go. Yes, always is. Meeting someone for lunch, just dropped in for a while. Catch you again another time. See you, Gof. Enjoy lunch. Let's grab our sandpaper. Let's just flatten these little guys out. Nice and smooth. I'll just do it a little bit quicker over on the sander. Be back in a sec. Quickly bring the sander up here. Little baby sander up here. Around here before I put it into place. Take this down. here, like so. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to sand these little guys, get them all nice and flat, just along here like this. All nice and flat, and then we're going to glue those in place. Around like that. Plug that guy in. Alrighty. Put a mask on, always safety. Tamarama looks fun. Tamarama is fun. So is Bronte. Bronte's good, Tamarama's good, Clavelli's good. It's all good. The police cars look as weird as hell down there. Do they now? Okay. One more. Right, we've sanded those, we've cut those out. Shake you back to the bench. You can see all those little guys. Whew. Safety first, absolutely safety first. Safety first is very important, Mav. Wonder what's happening in your parts of the woods, Mav. There's no one else around. I wonder if there's something massive going on in America at the moment. No, it's just Thursday night. Just quickly, you can see I've chamfered those little edges just to make them neat, and they'll sit in there like that. What I need to do is fit them now. So quickly sand off the fluff, any rough edges. Bit of sandpaper. They're different lengths, so we'll match them up where they need to go in a minute. Tom, oi, what's going on, Tom? Welcome on in, mate. How you doing? You good? If you're not good, are you good at it? That's the question. So we've marked out where these guys are going. Let's get the lengths right. Shorties up front. There's our shorties. There's our mediums. And there's our long ones. Long and long. Okay. There we go. Back. Second back. Third. And that's how we fit them. So the back is right down here. Let's see how this guy fits. A little bit on the tight side. Turn this guy on. Give it a trim. Still a little bit on the long side. That's good. Trim the other side. A little bit of a trim. Just about fits in perfectly. That's real close. And that fits in beautifully just in there. You can see that sitting in there. And we've got 4 on this side and 4 on the other side to pop in. So we're going to glue that in place in a minute. I'm just going to fit them loosely for now and make sure that they're sitting in there okay. Once they grab in there like that, we'll be able to glue them in place. Snug. Reasonably snug. Just a little bit on the looser side, but that's okay. There. They're going to get glued in anyway. Next length goes right here where we've marked it. So that's almost the right size. Trim it up. Get them closer. close now. What's going on, Tom? Deeper at the butt end, longer brace. I was working wider groupings. Yes, absolutely. About half an inch difference, mate, from the top to the bottom. Good there, nice fit. This side, right there. That fits nicely already. Doesn't need anything. Third pair. Just under the bout there, just under the waistline. Good fit right there. This guy on this side, it's already at the right length. Go in there. Two little guys up front. Go. There we go. Got them all cut out. Let's glue them up. Okay, we'll do this side first. Grab our glue. Grab our glue. A little bit of gum in there. Break this out. There we go. Doesn't need much, a little bit of tape just to hold it in place. It's nice and tight. It's a nice little snug fit. Push that in there. Might just grab a little clamp. Just use a little clamp. Just to keep it centered. There we go. Grab this one now. Another little clamp. Keep that pressurized. Wipe the excess glue and we'll clean that up with a chisel. Once we're finished, we'll get any residue off there. Keep it nice and neat. We've got to sand the inside anyway. There's still a bit of sanding to do, so we'll tidy that up. Number 3 down here. Brick Lane 45s. What's going on, brother? Thank you for the 10 bits. School fees in advance. Fan electric base in the dumpster. If I engrave designs to the body, will it affect the sound? No, absolutely not. If it's a solid base, and you take something, a little bit of wood off the top, it's not going to change. If it's an electric base, it's not going to change the tone greatly at all. So you'll be fine. You're not taking off massive. You're not changing the shape substantially. You're just engraving artwork on it, and that's fine. I've done lots of engravings. Welcome on board. Thank you very much for the 10 bits. Appreciate you. Yes, please stick around. Happy to teach, happy to show you stuff. So we're just gluing our little support ribs, on the inside of this acoustic frame. And then we're ready to put the back on. Grab a little clamp. Little grips. Keep that in place until it dries. Like so. What else have we got? One more down the base here, and then we'll do the other side. You want to see it's more complex in making an acoustic guitar compared to an electric one. It is a little bit more complex, about 100 times more complex actually, to be exact. Very, very a different kettle of fish, if you want to call it that. There's a lot more leeway for errors in electrics. Mind you, that's not to say we make errors, but they're a lot simpler, so it's harder to make errors, and they're more forgiving. You can get out of trouble with an electric a lot easier than you can with an acoustic, put it that way. Okay, that guy's in. We're good to go. Grab another clamp. Clamp this guy up. Okay, we start on the other side now. Let's just rotate these guys. I've just dropped everything, which is not good. the order of length. Longest at the back. That's the front, that's the back. Just check this fit on this guy. Yep, that's good to go there. A luthier. Yeah, you could call me that. I'm a very, very loose luthier. I'm more of an enthusiast than a luthier. And the reason I say that is because it's not my primary job. I'd starve if I had to rely on guitar making to make a living. There's two. This is a commission actually, so this is a paid gig. But yeah, you could call I am an enthusiast. Yes, I'm a luthier. You could call me that. I know enough to be. I think I know enough to be a luthier. I know enough to be a luthier. Sounds a bit sketchy, doesn't it? But that's how it is. Grab a little clamp. Clamp this guy up. Gently so it doesn't slide away. It's a pretty good fit though, it's pretty snug. I'm not too worried about it sliding away. Okay, this guy. Cranky Aussie, hey listen. I've heard enough out of you, Matt. Mate, if you want to see Cranky, you just keep going the way you're going and you'll see Cranky. Ha! I'm just kidding, Mav. You know me, I'm just joshing. Leslie, what's going on? You tell him, Leslie. I'll get Leslie onto you if you want to see Cranky. You want to see Cranky? Wait till Leslie hits you. I've put that in the wrong place, have I? Yes, it's meant to go there. Let's try that again. Right there. Wunderbar! Looking good. How are you, Leslie? Are you doing well? More clamps. Uber Cranky is my middle name. I knew that. You're a cranky so-and-so, aren't you? I can just tell. Okay, we'll keep those guys held in. Let's try this guy here. Nice fit. And this little guy goes in the front here. Correct. Okay, good. Let's do that. Uber Cranky. Get paid to be cranky. Ha! If only I'd be a millionaire. I'd be worth squillions, mate, if I was paid to be cranky, I'll tell you. More clamps. Where's Terry? Speaking of more clamps, where's Terry? One more up here. These little ribs will make the world of difference when it comes to stiffening up that edge. once we got these on, we can then check the symmetry and adjust in the clamps in the mold to get it really symmetrical, and then glue the back on. Once the back's on, it ain't moving. It ain't changing shape very easily unless you take to it with a sledgehammer. There we go. That's the last little rib. That's looking good. What we can do next week when we come back and they're dry is sand the bottom on our bench. Sand the bottom. I could probably do it now, but I don't want to touch them while they're wet in case they shift. One more clamp in there. I'll let that dry off. I'm going to go and get the Les Paul now and give that another coat on the back. I've been rubbing the back to fix the finish. There's some flaws in the finish, and I wanted to just get it a little bit better than I had it. So we haven't seen that girl Aurora for a while, so we'll get her out and have a play. There we go. Let's leave that guy to dry. I'll pop him out in the other room. Let's have a look at that. You can see the shape of that dreadnought. The commands may not be working because, yeah, I've got the... Mav, thank you for the cheer. I really appreciate it, man. I've got the alerts on for cheers and things, so they should still work. The ribs. Okay, so those little ribs help stiffen up the edges. So when you've got the sides of the guitar, you've got the kerfing around the outside. Okay, so those edges up the top there, you can see those edges. And what they do is they allow you to sand down the surface here. Switch cameras. So you sand these down, it gives you a nice even coat surface to glue the top and the back on. But inside, essentially, there's no load-bearing support on these sides, which are less than 1/8 of an inch thick. Okay, so we need to make sure that we can support or stiffen up that shape so there's no sloppiness or softness. So we put some ribs, little Queensland maple or mahogany ribs down the side, and what they do is they just cross brace that and give that a little bit more stability, a bit more support. Found. Yep, they work. Good job, Mav. Good job. Create more glue space. Yeah, that's what these guys do. Glue space there, because the outside edge of the actual guitar side is only about 1/8 of an inch to sort of like a 1/16 of an inch between those two numbers there. It's quite small. It's about 2 to 2.5 millimeters. So it's very, very, and it's going to be scraped. It's 3 at the moment, but it's going to be scraped and sanded, so you're going to lose a little bit. So we do need the surface for gluing enhanced by putting in these braces, and then these ribs help you stiffen the sides and keep some rigidity, and stiffening the sides also helps with speed of vibration. The sloppier the wood, you might get a boomier sound, but you'll lose some of the high end. So loud if it's vibrating aggressively, and bright if it's stiffer and the vibrations are still vibrating, but you're not losing that many by over vibrating, converting that energy into lost energy. So stiffening up speeds up the vibration, so the vibration on the neck moves through the body quicker. You get a crisper, brighter sound as a result. And that's just all part of that, both acoustically and... Thank you for the cheer. As school fees. Ha! I love it. Thank you, mate. You're welcome anytime, and there's no need for you to, but I do appreciate your support. Thank you. Okay, so that guy's out of the way. Let's go get that Les Paul and see what we can do with that guy. When I say Les Paul, it's not a Les Paul. It's what I call my L6, which is a single tone, single volume version of that old classic. Let's put this guy away. I'll bring that other guy in. guy here, little Aurora. Okay, we've got Queensland maple back, which is like mahogany. No, actually, it is mahogany. Mahogany back. We've got a Australian rosewood neck, a river oak fretboard, which is like a ebony, and of course maple, flamed, beautiful figured rock maple on the front. And you can see the difference there. We've only got one volume, a three-way switch, and a tone, as opposed to the four there. Now, we had this wired up once upon a time, but what happened? Well, what happened was we needed to refinish it because there were a few flaws with that. It's not bad there. It still needs a bit of a polish. The back has now been flattened out even more, and we're going to give that another good. You like that, Tom? Got a spammer. Okay, let me get rid of him. Is Leslie on the chat? Leslie, can you get rid of it, please, Mod? Can you delete that comment? Thank you. Thank you very much. Awesome, good work. Always ever reliable. Ever reliable. The inlay really pops out on that one. Yeah, the inlay's cool. I like that. I've split the 12th fret just to give it a little bit of a variation on a theme. But it's a nice one. Yeah, it's a nice guitar. It's going to have some Mr. Glynn's vintage hand-wound pickups. They're pretty much based on the 59 Path, which Gibson used. So it's going to get a nice, fat, warm sound. I need to put another coat on the back of it. I need to sand the sides first. So I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning up here on the bench. Let me grab some cloth to protect that from any small debris. Like so. I'm going to flick you over to the bench. Like so. Is that guy there? Right, I need to get some sandpaper in the 600 range, 400 range. 400 range is what I want. I want to wet that up. Got some water here. I'm going to just basically spritz the sides and just give that a little light polish, a little light sanding, just to smooth that out. There were a couple little things that I didn't like, and I'm going to leave the neck in a satin finish. So that neck's going to be satin finish. I'm just going to buff this up a little bit, just scuff that up a little bit and get another coat of UV. What do they call it? Polyurethane. A light little scuff like that and smooths it out. It'll give it a much better look. We've got we've got maple bindings. So we've got rock maple bindings that I cut up myself and made. Okay, see you, Brick Lane. Thank you very much for being here. Yeah, hope you drop in again. Don't be a stranger, as Tom says. The flatter the look, the flatter the finish, as they say. So if you've got shiny spots, it means that you've got low areas. You need to keep sanding and get those little divots flattened out. I've just got a couple little runs, little stain marks from runs that I want to just flatten out and re-clear so that we don't show them. They don't appear to be present. Most of it's pretty good. little bit of crap just down here, and I need to clean up just in the waistline mainly. Peace, love, and rock and roll. That's what we like. Good man. Nice to always meet new members. Okay. We're going to give this a wipe down. We're going to give that a coat. And then we're going to hang that up. Let's give that a nice wipe down. Get all the grease marks off there. Get all this dust and more. Spot here. That's better. Feels nice to touch. Not too bad. Yeah, it's better. Lots better. Okay. We're going to hit these edges first. And then we're going to do the back. I'm going to quickly scuff the back a little bit more. Just with 1200. Really flatten it out. Pretty flat. Alrighty, let's give that a coat. So let's get some gloves on. Orby with the big raid, brother. What's going on? Good to see you. Welcome on in, guys and girls. Mrs. Kelly Taylor, Mrs. Kel Taylor. What is happening? Welcome on in. They're invading the stream. Invade away. Dano, what's going on? Orby's here. Mr. Man, give him a big shout out. Leslie, shout out that man. Shout out that man. Shout him out. What's going on, guys and girls? We were doing some work on the acoustic earlier on. Put some ribs on the inside of it. And we're just going to give this guy that you may or may not remember, Aurora, as she's known, this maple beast, mahogany and maple, Australian rosewood neck. And we're going to give this girl another coat around the edges and on the back, which I flattened out a little bit more. Get some flaws out of the paintwork, out of the clear coat. Aurora, that's the one there. That's the makeup of it. Maple cap, maple binding. Fretboard is Australian rosewood with a cypress binding and an Australian river oak fretboard. So the fretboard is not Australian rosewood. The fretboard is river oak. But the neck is Australian rosewood. And that needs to be fixed, Leslie. Not that you have to fix it. Wait for Terry to do it. It's her fault. She can fix it. Fully accountable on this show. Fully accountable. Full accountability and responsibility for all those who make up commands. They must follow up and correct them. Care factor? I'm not too fussed about it. Put it that way. How y'all doing, man? You good? Orby, what's happening, brother? Are you well? My brother from another mother in San Fran or California, somewhere out there in California. Hopefully you guys have settled down a little bit better. More heartache and drama. 20 bits from Mav. Mav, thank you very much. Glad you're not a mod. I'm glad you're not a mod, Tom. We're in enough trouble as it is. Okay. Let's see if we've got any good.
Mom, somebody just followed me.
Left over. We should have. We should have. As the saying goes, we should have. Excuse me. Did I scare you all? Ha ha. That was my intent. Sneezing again. Might just be a little bit of dust lying around. Let me get a fresh cloth. And we get that guy started. It was Nemi. Let's just blame Nemi. Bless me ad infinitum. Tom, I appreciate it. Thanks, dude. Okay, where's our little paint cloth? Let's get that guy. Oh. Okie dokie. We've got our little container. Let me give that a little clean. Just dust that out. Make sure there's nothing in there. Grab some lint-free cloth to wipe that poly down with. I always use lint-free on those finishing coats. I just cut a small little square of lint-free. Does the world of good. Let me cut that up. Okay, tack-free cloth, tack cloth I call it. It's a very coarse weave, but it does not leave bubbles and the such, bubbles and the like back. Not much anyway. It's probably the best thing that I use to do finishing coats by hand, just by brushing that over and giving a nice streak-free finish. Let's pour some of this. This is shooken already. Okay, you can see that ambering in there. It's starting to age a little bit, but that's okay. It still works. Let's give that a coat. Do the edges first. And those, if there are any thickish sort of streaks, they will settle as this lays out, as the finish lays out. So don't be stressed by any tiny little streaks. It's more about bubbles here, and I'm not getting any bubbles at all, which is good. You can see that's a nice shiny finish. Make sure there's no runs. That's the main thing. You just feather that if it needs it, if it's a little bit bulky. It's about trying to get it as flat as you can, but also not overly thin or overly thick. Try and get an even coat. So just sort of rub over it once or twice. Pull that through a couple of times. And that will settle down and lay down eventually. That looks really good. Are you happy with that, Nemi? Would you play that? Nemi, would you play that is the question I have. I bet you would. You would hammer it. You would go, that Randall amp would be pumped up to the max, and you'd be playing And Justice for All, the whole album, as if you were Kurt Hammett himself. Okay, looking reasonably good. Super 70 clone. That's the one. The Super 70, man. It would rock. It would rock the plaster off the walls, I'd say. There we go. Looking good. Loving that. A little bit over on the edges here. I'm just going to fix this up. That's fine. Just make sure there's no drips anywhere on that surface. We can do with another coat on the top as well. We will do that another time. That's they're looking pretty good now. They're looking pretty good. So let's get this back done. Lay it down reasonably on the flat surface. It's supported. I've got a beam under the neck there. There's nothing overhanging, stressing that. That's quite good there. It's flat. There's sponge under that. That's level. Take this guy and we do our thing on the top. Nice and thick. Start at the neck. Just run it straight down. I normally wipe off the poly during the first 3 or 4 coats as I coat it. I wipe it on, let it sort of get a little bit congealed and stiff. And about 4 or 5 minutes after I apply, I wipe it completely, all the excess off. But when I get to about the 5th or 6th coat, I don't wipe it off. I just build a little bit. It's about just getting it on thin It's all about thin coats, not thick coats, like say poly, where we like to, not poly, nitro, where we like to really sort of give it a good thickish sort of coat. I'm just looking at that. That's laying down nicely. Just feathering that out. Important not to go over the edges. Doesn't matter if there are any streaky, light sort of streaks, they will settle. As long as there's no pooling of excess, that's why I'm giving it a light brush away. I'm not wiping it off completely. I'm just rebrushing it and laying it out, thinning it out a little bit across the surface. And like I said, you're going to get thin streaks, but they're going to lay down while it's still wet. The next half hour or 15 minutes, it's going to flatten quite substantially. I think I've got it. We'll see how that ends up. That's not too bad. Okay, we're going to let that lay there now and let that finish itself off there. Perhaps one day. Keep going, Nemi. You will do it, man. If you put your mind to it, you will do it. I'm confident that you will. Alrighty. Let's put this guy away. And I'll let that sit there now, and I'm not going to touch that. Or anything else for that matter. I don't want to kick up any dust or anything funny. We'll let that sit there. I'll show you what I did before. Let me grab that acoustic. And there's our acoustic, our dreadnought, and we've got our ribs, as you can see, clamped in there and glued in. We've got those ribs in there. See those guys supporting the sides, 4 on each side. And that's pretty much ready now to get the back on it. Pretty much ready to get the back on it. So basically we're going to be able to fit the back on that guy there. I'll just quickly show you guys what that color looks like. If I can. Let me see if I can. If I pop this down here like so. Maybe not. This is quite complex. Yeah, we'll do it this way. Pop that there. What I'll do is I'll grab the back and show you that. So the back and sides are both Tasmanian blackwood. That's it there. You can see that flame. If I add some colour to that. Okay, you can see that's got a nice golden satiny hue to it. That's going to pop really nice with some oil on there. The sides are the same, and the top is bunya pine. Nice band, wide banded. Not dissimilar to cypress, not dissimilar to spruce, but a different band and colouring. That's our top there with our rosette. And we need to sand and clean that up before that goes on the top, but it's all braced and ready to go. We should be pretty good to go. I want to get that back on in the next few days. So that guy there, we need to get that onto the back and start getting some colour in. Orbs pickup, you sound good. Yep, you never know. You never know. You got to be in it. You got to be dreaming to win it, my friend. You got to be dreaming to win it. You got to be in it to win it. Okay, just check this guy, if I may. Where are we? Let's see this guy here. Okay, so that's flattening out nicely. That'll be good once it's done. The edges look really good. There we got this guy. Get some reflection in there. There you go. So that's nice and shiny. Edges look really nice. And the top needs one more coat, and we're pretty much ready to put that guy together again. So we'll let that rest. And when we come back next time, we'll be able to hopefully be almost at the stage to fix that guy up and do all that. Looks like an acoustic guitar playing cards. It does indeed. Guys and girls, that's all I've got for you for today. So thank you for being here. I appreciate this short and sweet hour and a bit. Stick around. Monday I'm back. So in about 3 days' time, you'll see me again. Atomic Punk, thank you for the follow earlier on. Mav with the 20 bits. Orby with the raid. Brother, always appreciate you. Thank you for your support. I know I haven't been around lately, and I appreciate that. And I know that you're always looking out for me, and I appreciate it so much. But take care. I will see you on Monday, my time, which is Sunday, your time. Until then, guys and girls, be good and take care of each other. Bye for now.